In recent years, the world has witnessed an alarming rise in extreme weather events, from devastating wildfires to unpredictable storms, floods, and heat waves. These events have not only affected the environment, but also the lives of millions of people across the globe. Wildfires, in particular, have become a common feature of many regions, often with devastating consequences for ecosystems, communities, and economies. But what is driving this surge in extreme weather events? And how are wildfires linked to the larger picture of climate change? In this video, we'll explore the connection between wildfires and extreme weather events, their causes, and the growing impact they have on our planet. The growing frequency of wildfires. Wildfires are no longer confined to remote areas. They are now a global phenomenon, occurring with increasing frequency and intensity. Wildfires have long been a natural part of ecosystems, helping to clear dead vegetation and promote new growth. However, in recent decades, human activities, along with climate change, have pushed these fires to dangerous extremes. Areas once considered safe are now regularly battling large-scale wildfires. California, Australia, Greece, and even parts of Canada have all seen catastrophic wildfires in the last decade. What has changed? First, there's the issue of human interference. Urban sprawl and land use practices have put more people and infrastructure in the path of wildfires, making it harder to contain these fires when they occur. But perhaps more concerning is the role of climate change. Rising global temperatures, prolonged droughts, and changing precipitation patterns have created the perfect conditions for wildfires to thrive. Link between wildfires and extreme weather. To understand the full scope of the problem, we need to consider how wildfires and extreme weather events are interconnected. Extreme heat waves, which are becoming more common as the planet warms, create conditions ripe for wildfires. When temperatures soar, the landscape dries out and vegetation becomes more flammable. Combined with high winds, this can lead to the rapid spread of fires. In addition, extreme weather events like hurricanes and cyclones can contribute to the intensity of wildfires. For example, after a hurricane, the sudden shift in wind patterns can spark wildfires in areas that would not typically be prone to them. Similarly, wildfires themselves can influence local weather patterns. The smoke from large fires can alter atmospheric conditions, creating conditions for more intense storms and further exacerbating the cycle of extreme weather. The role of drought. Drought is another key player in the growing frequency of wildfires. In regions that experience prolonged dry spells, vegetation becomes dry and brittle, making it highly susceptible to ignition. Drought not only increases the likelihood of wildfires, but also makes it harder for firefighters to control and extinguish them once they start. It also leads to water scarcity, which makes it difficult for communities to prepare and respond effectively to fire threats. In many areas, drought conditions have become the norm rather than the exception. The Mediterranean region, for example, has seen an increase in both the frequency and severity of droughts, creating the perfect storm for wildfires to thrive. Wildfires have become more than just a seasonal occurrence. They are now year-round threats in many parts of the world. The role of climate change. So, what's driving these extreme weather events? Climate change is the undeniable culprit. The increase in global temperatures caused by human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial agriculture, has set off a chain reaction of changes in weather patterns. These changes have made extreme weather events more frequent, intense, and unpredictable. In the case of wildfires, warmer temperatures mean more evaporation, which leads to drier conditions in forests and grasslands. These dry conditions create the perfect environment for fires to start and spread quickly. Climate change has also altered rainfall patterns, leading to longer periods of drought in some regions, further exacerbating the problem. But it's not just the heat. It's also the way that climate change is affecting the global water cycle, creating an environment in which wildfires can spread more easily and become more intense. Impacts on ecosystems and biodiversity. The effects of wildfires on ecosystems are far-reaching. While wildfires are a natural part of many ecosystems, the sheer intensity and frequency of modern fires are disrupting delicate balances. Wildfires destroy habitats, release large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and threaten biodiversity. Many species, including those already vulnerable to other environmental stressors, face the threat of extinction due to habitat destruction and changing conditions. In addition, the smoke from wildfires can affect air quality for miles around, posing health risks to humans and animals alike. Long-term exposure to wildfire smoke has been linked to respiratory issues, heart problems, and even premature death. The impact on communities that rely on clean air for agriculture or tourism is also significant, as the health effects of wildfire smoke can be far-reaching. The social and economic costs. Beyond environmental damage, wildfires and extreme weather events have a devastating impact on communities. The costs of these events are staggering. Thousands of homes are lost in each wildfire, leaving families displaced and entire communities shattered. The financial toll on governments, insurance companies, and local economies is enormous. Rebuilding homes and infrastructure can take years, and the disruption to livelihoods can be permanent for many. Extreme weather events also place a huge strain on emergency services, healthcare systems, and infrastructure. As fires rage out of control, firefighters and emergency responders work tirelessly, but often face challenges like limited resources, harsh terrain, and unpredictable weather. In the aftermath of wildfires, communities must rebuild while grappling with the emotional and psychological toll of losing homes, loved ones, and livelihoods. Human adaptation and preparedness. As wildfires and extreme weather events become more frequent and intense, the need for effective adaptation and preparedness is growing. Communities must learn to live with the reality of these disasters, implementing strategies to minimize damage and protect lives. Building codes that account for fire-resistant materials, creating defensible spaces around homes, and improving early warning systems are just some of the measures that can be taken to reduce the impact of wildfires. Governments must also invest in disaster preparedness and response, providing funding for firefighting equipment, emergency shelters, and recovery programs. But adaptation goes beyond infrastructure. It requires a shift in mindset, recognizing that we must prioritize the health of our planet and take action to mitigate the impacts of climate change. The path forward: mitigation and action. The fight against wildfires and extreme weather events begins with climate action. To reduce the frequency and severity of these disasters, we must tackle the root causes of climate change. This means transitioning to renewable energy sources, reducing carbon emissions, protecting forests, and adopting sustainable agricultural practices. We must also focus on increasing global cooperation. Extreme weather events are a global problem, and solutions must come from all corners of the world. Whether it's sharing fire management strategies, investing in climate resilience, or advocating for stronger climate policies. Collective action is key to ensuring a safer, more sustainable future. Conclusion: wildfires and extreme weather events are not just random occurrences. They are a manifestation of a changing climate and a growing threat to our world. As these events become more frequent and intense, we must acknowledge the role we play in shaping the environment and take action to address the underlying causes. Through adaptation, preparedness, and global cooperation, we can reduce the devastating impact of wildfires and extreme weather. The future of our planet depends on the choices we make today. Let's act now to protect our environment, our communities, and our way of life.